Zone Squad? Welcome back. Our last unit for solving. So solving quadratics by completing the squared. So when we complete the squared, our goal is to go from standard form to vertex form. So standard form, if you remember, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. Our goal is to somehow complete the squared and then make it into vertex form, which is a times x minus h squared plus k. So the whole part of here is we need to get a perfect trinomial. So our goal is to manipulate the problem to make it into a perfect trinomial. So I'm going to do an example while we go over the rules. So my first step is to move the c value to other side and leave space. So here's my example. Y equals, or 0 equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 42. And so my goal, what's my c value? The 42. Let's move it to the other side. So I'm going to add it, but I'm going to leave some space. Leave some space. Leaving the space, we're going to fill it in so we can get a perfect trinomial. So your second step is, if a is not 1, then you have to factor it out. Factor out the a value. We're going to force this. So my a value here is what? It's the 2. So same thing, I'm going to leave space. I'm going to take out the 2. If I take out the 2 here, you're dividing by 2, so you have 4x. And we'll leave some space, now it's inside. Alright, step 3, complete the squared. So to complete the squared, the formula is b over 2 squared, and we're going to add that to both sides. So you have 42, leave some space. Let's do b over 2, which is 4 over 2 squared, which is 2 squared, which is 4. So we are going to add 4 here. So we have 2 here. We're going to add 4 here. And we're supposed to add 4 here to balance it, but because we have this 2 on the outside, we have to actually distribute that. So it's 4 times 2, which is technically 8. So we get that. Alright, so we get 50 here. We get here. Our fourth step is factor it out. Factor. So let's factor this guy out. It's going to be x plus 2 times x plus 2, which is x plus 2 squared. So you have x plus 2 squared. We're pretty much done now. So step 5 is just solve. Step 5 is just solve. So let's solve this guy. So right now we're going to solve this. So we have, right now we have 50 equal 2 times x plus 2 squared. We're going to solve for x. Alright, so order of operations, we want to get rid of this 2 first. So if it's times 2, you want to divide by 2. So you get 25. How do you get rid of a squared? You square root it on both sides. That cancels that. Be careful. Misconception. Kids just put positive 5, but it's technically plus or minus 5, since there's 2 values whenever we take square roots. And then you subtract 2 on both sides. So you have x equals negative 2 plus or minus 5. So we're back to this plus or minus guy. So the minus, so it's not negative 2 plus 5, which is 3. And then we have negative 2 minus 5, which is negative 7. So you have 2 values, 2 solutions. You have negative 7, 3. Those are your x-intercepts for this function. Alright, so lots of steps. Let's go over it real quick. So standard to vertex form. We're going to get a perfect trinomial. So we're going to move the c value over. So we're going to move this 42 over. And then we're going to factor out. If a is not 1, we have to factor it out. So we take out the 2. Let's take out 2 here. Then we complete the squared, which is b over 2 squared. Be careful. A lot of kids like to do negative b over 2a. They're just used to the quadratic formula or the line of symmetry in standard form. So you take 4 over 2 squared, which is 4. You add it here. Be careful here. A lot of kids like to add 4 here, but you're technically distributing this guy here and then moving it over here. So it's 8. Add it up, factor it. It's always going to be a perfect square if you did it correctly, or perfect trinomial. And our fifth step is to solve it. So we're going to solve it and we get 2 answers. You might get 2, you might get 1, or you might get no solution based on the function. Alright, good job. That concludes our lesson. We're actually going to do 3 problems right now. So let's get ready to try these problems out. Alright, welcome back. This is our first problem out of the 3. This is your basic. So your first one is find the C value to complete the squared. SQR squared. So your problem is going to be x squared plus 4x plus c. Find me the c. I want you to complete the squared, so do b over 2 squared. Go. Alright, welcome back. Let's do this. b over 2 squared, which is 4 over 2 squared, which is 2 squared, which is 4. That's my c value. Okay? If you put a 4 there, that's actually going to make this into a perfect trinomial. Alright, check your answers. Make sure you did b over 2 squared, not negative b over 2 squared. A lot of kids make that mistake. Alright, good job. Alright, intermediate level, we just practiced completing the squared. I want you to complete the squared and factor this. So here's your problem, y equals x squared minus 6x. And we about 30 seconds to a minute to try this. I want you to do b over 2 squared and then actually practice the factor. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to a minute. Go. Alright, welcome back. Let's try this. We're going to leave some space here. Technically, we get that. You get this. Leave some space here. Take b over 2 squared, which is negative 3 squared, which is 9. So add 9 here, add 9 there. And to factor this guy, it's technically x minus 3. X minus 3. Shortcut, b over 2 is going to be that guy always. So your final answer is x minus 3 squared. And you could put the y plus 9 here, but we're not going to solve it. I just want you to practice that part there. So shortcut, b over 2 is always going to be this guy here. This guy here. And that's a shortcut. So check your answers. If you didn't get it right, see where your mistakes were. And let's fix it for the next problem for advanced level. Good job. Alright, your last problem, your advanced. So we're going to put everything together. I want you to solve by completing the square. So if I give you this problem here, I want you to complete the squared. Do the whole thing. You should have 2 answers. That's your hint. Try your best. It'll be about 30 seconds to a minute. Go. Alright, let's see how much you got. Let's try this. My first step, move the c value over. So move that 16 over by adding it to the other side. Step 2, is the a value 1? Yes, it is. So we don't have to factor anything out. So we can actually just complete the squared. Let's complete the squared. b over 2 squared, which is negative 6 over 2 squared, which is negative 3 squared. You see how I show all my work? Which is 9. So I'm going to add 9 here and add 9 there. Alright, so this side you get 25. This side, the shortcut, if you factor, it's just b over 2. What was b over 2? It's negative 3, so it's just x minus 3. So that's completing a squared. We need to solve for x. So let's solve it now. So square root both sides. So that cancels out. What happens when you square root? How many answers you get? You get 2, so you get plus or minus 5. And then, how do you solve for x? You add 3. So you have positive 3 plus or minus 5. So you have 3 plus 5, which is 8. Or you have 3 minus 5, which is negative 2. So check your answers. Did you get 8 and negative 2? Just check your answer, make sure you got it. If not, go fix your error and let's see what happens from there. Alright, so on squads, good job. We're able to solve quadratics by completing a squared. Actually got some new merch. Selling Squad, and it has my YouTube channel on the back. Shout out to Carter Valle, one of my students who actually designed these shirts. He just does that on the side, so shout out to him. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please turn on your notifications, and let's get ready for the next video. Thank you.